Hello, I am Rico Cavaglia, and this is your Fearless Aging Show, where in every episode, my guests and I, we strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive difference in the world. Now, I'm excited about today's show because it's such a great topic. Our topic is the courage to create a highly successful, healthy, long life. I'm also excited because our expert guest is a longtime friend and associate of mine. He is Ken D. Foster. He's a keynote speaker, best selling author, business strategist, and news personality who owns a broadcast and media production company. He's the executive producer and host of the Voices of Courage show, syndicated on TV, podcast, and radio, and broadcast in 185 countries. He specializes in working with people who are committed to leveling up their lives, maximizing their highest potential, and contributing to make the world a better place. So, Ken Foster, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Rico. It's great to be on your show. And you and I have been talking about doing this for a while, so I'm
Yeah,
happy to do this.
yeah, really good to see you. And again, this is such a great topic. So, we're going to talk a lot about your new book. It's called The Courage to Change Everything. And so, I'd like to start off by just asking you, what is your definition of courage?
Well, in my world, courage is a energy. It's a force. It's a power. It lives within each one of us. Some individuals have fully developed courage, and some people have undeveloped courage. But courage, it's innate. It's all born. We all have it. The force that we use, that we call courage, is one of the most powerful forces on earth. And it can move us out of anything from depression to uh, poor relationships to poor health to move us into our brilliance, our joy, our happiness in our life. It's a power that moves us past fear and into that energy of courage, which really we become unstoppable once we step into our courage.
Yeah, and really, I mean, it takes a lot of courage to be highly successful in every aspect of your life. Whether it's creating good health or creating uh, good relationships or financial success, you got to have courage to step up and do what it takes. And it's really about it is really about overcoming fear. And isn't that? I heard a good definition of fear is really is a good opportunity to grow and to advance yourself and to become successful. When you have fear, that's good because when you step through it, then you're on the other side, and that's how you become successful.
Well, I like the acronym false evidence appearing real for
Yeah,
fear. And I like what you said about it. We can move past any fear that we have if we step into our courage. So
yeah,
courage is it's an inter we think about courage as people running into a burning building or maybe jumping off a high dive or something that we feel takes courage. But quite frankly, courage is, as I mentioned, that inner force that we all have. And courage really needs to be nurtured in all of us. And people ask me, well, what can I do to become more courageous? And what I tell them, Rico, is I just say, well, do something you haven't done before for the next 7 days. Every day, do something different that you haven't done before, and it'll take courage to do that. It'll help you to develop courage. Go out and, I don't know, maybe you owe somebody an apology. That takes
yeah,
courage.
yeah,
Go practice courage by doing that. Or, when you're walking into the grocery store, maybe you set your intention to put a smile on the cashier's face. That takes courage. So courage shows up in a lot of areas of our life. It's just, how are you applying it? Listen, there is symptoms that are left that tell us when we're not courageous. Okay, so I'm going to give you some of those symptoms. One would be
I was just going to say, Ken, I would ask you first before you get into that. Why do you think so many people are lacking courage? And isn't that one of the the biggest reason why people aren't more successful in all aspects of their life?
Well, there's a lot. It's a big question because there's a lot of reasons that people don't step into their courage. But I'll give you the kind of a macro overview of it. When we come into this world and we're programmed by our parents, our institutions, our teachers, and our friends, those that program is running in the subconscious mind. And so, that I would say that program runs about 75% of our life. Then the 25% of your life that you can change is you have to step into courage to do that. Okay. So you're running on this autopilot, and all of a sudden you want to generate more money in your business. And you say to yourself, how am I going to do that? And of course, that's the wrong question to ask. The right question to ask is, what are the first 3 steps I can do to generate more money in my business? Now, let's say you come up with the idea, well, I'm going to have to get on the phone and contact some people that I've never talked to before. That's where courage comes in. That's where you have to step in and move past that fear of the unknown, right? To be able to make that phone call that can change your life. I always tell people, you're only one phone call or one connection away from changing everything in your world. But it takes courage to reach out to those people and get past your own thinking, that 75% of your thinking that's programmed.
Yeah.
So
I want to point out something you said was really important, is that everybody has goals and they want to, but what you said was, instead of asking, how am I going to achieve this? Just ask, what do I need to do to achieve that? That's a really important concept.
Well, I think ask and you will receive. My book, my first number one best-selling book was called Ask and You Will Succeed. And, questions are important. But after we ask that question, then we have to step into our courage, right? And so courage, if you're listening to this and you're wondering, well, you're thinking, I'm a courageous person. I do things all the time. Well, what I'd encourage you to do then is to rate yourself in different areas of your life, right? So rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in your relationships, in your finances, in your social life, in your friendships, in your spiritual life, in your business life, in your partnerships, in your turnover in your business. Get into your business, scale of 1 to 10. And quite frankly, if you're less than a 5 or 6 in any of these categories, I'm telling you, you got to step up to courage, to step into courage, which is why I wrote my latest book, Rico. It's called The Courage to Change Everything. It's daily strategies and essential wisdom to awaken your inner genius. So that book I wrote for people that want to instill courage in their lives in a greater way. The foreword was written by a well-known author and friend of mine, Stephen M.R. Covey. He wrote the foreword, and this book gives daily strategies how to increase your wisdom, your power, your resolve, your unstoppable presence that's within you, and step into that courage in greater ways.
Well, before we get into some of those a little more detail and talk about a little bit more about what the different things in your book and how it helps people, let me just ask you, what got you started on thinking about courage, and how did you learn to become more courageous in your life?
I was born a pretty courageous kid. I did a lot of things that were way outside the box as a child. And, I got reprimanded a lot for those things. What I had as a kid was unfettered courage. Today, I have courage that is balanced. My risk taking is balanced with my reason. And so I knew that a lot of folks out there were really having a hard time stepping into making a difference in their own life. Of course, we live in a planet right now, Rico, that, we're upshifting. Consciousness is upshifting. Well, actually, when you look at the numbers, whether it be in poverty numbers or housing for the poor, or even some of the environmental numbers. We're making progress and we're getting better and better. So when I looked at that, I thought, what stops most people from moving into the next level of their life or making a difference? And it was simple. It was courage. So I thought, well, there's not a lot of books out there on courage. Why don't I write a book on courage? Last major book on courage was John F. Kennedy's gosh darn what's the name of that book? Just slipping my mind. Well, you can Google John F. Kennedy book on courage, and it'll come right up. Yeah.
Well, tell us. Well, you must have had some things that you had to step up your courage to overcome. Tell us a little bit about what really got you realizing that, hey, I've got to become a lot more courageous.
Well, yeah, I'm sure as heck not perfect around courage. It takes a lot of courage to do a lot of things. I'll give a good story. I was single for about 10 years. I was married for 10, then I was single and in and out of relationships for 10 years. And then I realized that it was time for me to step up and find and get married. I wanted to get married. So first of all, it took courage to even make that statement after being 10 years single. And then what it took, I heard this little voice that said, "Well, if you want to step up, I'm gonna send you your wife, but you have to play 100% full out." And I was like, "Well, what does that mean?" And I realized what it meant. For many years I've been in relationships where I was in 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the relationship, always
Yeah,
looking outside of myself for something different.
yeah,
And this time I thought, well, you know what? I am gonna follow that little voice. I'm gonna play 100%. 100%. This is the right one in my life, and I'm gonna give her everything. Well, that woman I've been married to now for 25 years. That was Judy Foster, my wife, Judy Avila at the time. But it took courage to step into that and play 100% full out. Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your health or fitness, if you decide, you make that decision, I'm going to play full out, just like you do, Rico. You bring people in that want to work out, that want to build health, that want to be fit for life. It takes courage to do that. And it's
yeah.
very easy to stop. But the courageous people, when they've developed courage, they move through the hard times, they tune into the courage, and they become a better version of themselves as a result of that.
It kind of reminds me of the old Richard Nixon's famous saying. Remember, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go. All
Yeah.
right, we're going to take a real short break. I have an important message for you, and when we come back, we'll get into some little more details about your book, Ken.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, I'm Rico Cavella, creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle. If you are concerned about premature aging and you want to avoid disease and old age, and you want to live a more healthy, energetic, and vital long life, I have proven solutions for you. So number one, go to agelesslivinglifestyle.com and take our aging quiz to see how well you are doing. And number two, book your free coaching session with me to discuss your wellness challenges, and I promise to get you going on the right track. You can transform your health and your life, and I can help. All right, we are back with Ken D. Foster, author of his newest book called The Courage to Change Everything. And life's all about change, isn't it, Ken? And so we need to have courage to make that we can change everything that we don't want, that's not
Well,
going as well as we want. So let's really dig into your book, The Courage to Change Everything. And how about maybe talk a little bit about some of the key things the three main things are improving our health, improving our relationships, improving our financial situation. So maybe talk about some specific things on each one of those, how you can get courage to really improve each one of those areas of your life.
absolutely. And I think I'll start with what I believe is the foundation of all three of those, which is stillness is the price of greatness. Stillness. It was said by Leonardo da Vinci, I think, originally said that. And then Paramahansa Yogananda said something to the effect of stillness is the power that lies within all of us that connects us to our dreams, our power, our presence, and everything else, right? So stillness is the price of greatness. So we do need to take time to set intention around finances, health, and fitness, and in set up your intention, set up your goals, your targets, and then of course we got to step into courage. But before we do that, it's really important, I believe, to get still, meditate, contemplate on those goals so that you have some clear direction. All right. Now, finances, let's start there. All right. Some of you are experiencing debt. You're experiencing a lack of cash flow. You're experiencing worry and stress over finances. So what's going to happen? You're going to continue doing that the rest of your life, or are you going to step into your courage? First of all, get still, ask what it is I need to know, then step into your courage and start making the changes you need to make so that you have financial freedom or at least financial peace of mind, right? Peace of mind is it's an inside game. You know that, Rico, right? Nobody can make you unhappy or upset unless you choose to be happy and upset. Nobody can you change your upsetness unless you choose to allow them to do that. So it's really an inside game. But listen, it takes courage to go within ourselves. So under finances, here's what I recommend this week and the following weeks, but start out for the next 7 days. What I'd like you to do is meditate for 5 minutes, then get out a little journal, get out and see what you're tolerating in your finances, what you're worried about in your finances, and then after you've got those two, ask yourself, if I was courageous, what are the 3 steps I'll take to have my finances at a better level, right? So worries and tolerations and encourage. That's really what we're going to do. You're going to do the same thing in your health. Rico, first thing I do, if I'm you and I got a bad body, I'm calling Rico. That's the first thing I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. He's an expert in this, and he's helped people from all areas of life to be able to step into vibrant health. No matter what age you are, you can change your health for the better.
Absolutely.
And Rico can help you do that. So that's what I would do there. But again, my formula is get out introspection, right? Meditate first, introspect on, all right, what am I tolerating? What am I worrying about? And what are the 3 steps I can do today to step into my courage around health? And the same thing with your relationships, the same thing with your spiritual life or any other area of life. That's my formula. If you'll follow it, what's going to happen? Just try it out for 7 days. 7 days, introspect every night, okay, before you go to bed. Allow yourself to get clear with what your steps are and then sleep on it because these are the 3 steps I'm going to do in the morning. Cool. Wake up feeling alert, alive, and awake, and go take those actions. I know it's easy for me to say it, and you're going, I don't know if I can do that, Ken. Well, listen, find your courage and step into it. That's all I ask. And then never, never, never give up until you accomplish what you want to accomplish.
So what I'm hearing really is the key is for people to understand that everything you need to know is inside your own self. And so you got to trust yourself. You got to take the time, like you said, to slow down, meditate, and think about it. It's not that we can't get help and coaching and
Yeah.
all aspects of life, but if you're going to be really successful and be courageous, you got to go into your own self and take the time to ask what do I need?
Which Rico is another reason I wrote the book, The Courage to Change Everything,
Yeah.
where you can get that book at couragetochange.us. You cannot get the full book on Amazon. You can get it at couragetochange.us, and I have some bonuses for you there. But I will say this: it's a 400-page hardback, and people go, "I'm not going to read a 400-page hardback." Well, good news is this is a book that you read daily. Okay, they are daily strategies and essential wisdom to help you awaken that inner genius that's in all of us, Rico.
How about reading this one? How about reading this one daily thing? What you have in your book?
Well, I don't
In
know
your,
if I'll do the whole thing because it'll take too much time, but
oh, okay.
I'll just flip to a page here
Well, we've got about 4 minutes to go.
I got well, okay, day 178. Courage is there's a quote by me. Courage is the elixir that gets us unstuck from the challenges of life because courage lubricates the creative mind. So courage isn't about taking, which we talked about earlier, taking restless risks. It's an inner strength that you can tap into anytime. We all have the capacity, but like a muscle, it takes that lies dormant if we don't use it. It's the same thing with courage. And I'm not going to read the whole guide, daily inspiration, but at the end, I asked 3 questions. If you were courageous, what would I do today? How can I become more courageous every day? And what are the 3 most courageous acts I can do to increase success in my life? So that's just a sample of what's in that book. And every day, imagine every day you're taking some time, 5 minutes to meditate, introspecting, asking yourself these powerful questions that are in this book. And 365 days, imagine how you have reprogrammed your thinking, reprogrammed your mind, and taken specific actions every day to increase success in your life. It's phenomenal. When people follow this book, they get great results, Rico.
Yeah, it always comes down to that. It's just like we always offer on our show. We always offer uh, really great information, but if you don't step up and take action, it's useless. I always like to say, I usually used to end all my podcasts, Ken, by saying, by Einstein's famous saying, uh, uh, knowledge without action is useless. So if you don't take action, so the good news, what I'm hearing, and what I think our message to our audience is that you can do it. You have courage innately inside yourself, but you just have to understand that you do. You have to believe that you do, and then take those steps of developing more courage. I think we still got about a minute or so to go here. I'd like to just review those top 3 things that people can do right now to greatly start to improve, to become much more courageous and more successful.
Okay, introspection is the key to your life, the key to success. So, number 1 is get still, meditate, contemplate 5 minutes. That's all it really takes to reconnect to yourself, to your soul, if you'll do that. Number 2 is you want to tune into your tolerations. What are you tolerating right now? What are you tolerating in your life? Okay, ask yourself that, right? Get clear with that on a daily basis, right? If we make incremental increases in our success every day, eventually we don't have those problems anymore. So getting clear with your tolerations, and then next step into your courage, right? Well, I ask those questions in my book, or get the book, even better, at couragetochange.us. But ask yourself, if I were courageous today, what are the 3 most important steps that I could take to change up A, B, C, D, whatever you're working on? If you do that, life's going to get better.
Yeah, I like that so much. Ask 3 things. What can I do today to become more courageous? I'm going to write that down myself. I'm going to start working on that. That's so good, kid. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, one
Thanks.
more thing I was going to ask you. I know you also do coaching and business, for business strategies and all. So if somebody wants to contact you to inquire about your coaching, where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, and they can go to my website. Thank you, Rico. They can go to my website, kendfoster.com, kendfoster.com. First thing I help people do in coaching is get rid of some of their old subconscious beliefs. There's a process I give away for free on that website. It's called the release process. Go get
Yeah,
the release process for free at kendfoster.com. And you can also sign up for a complimentary session with me if you like.
really good. Yeah, I highly encourage you to do that. Yeah, I have a copy of your release, and I'm going to look it up again. Every time I look it up and look at it, it's so helpful and so valuable. All right, well, I think that's going to be a wrap for this show. Ken, thank you so much for all the great information. Thank you for all that you do. And so if you like today's episode, tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show, where you can stream it on all the major TV channel streaming channels, and also you can find it on e360tv.com. So tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for being here, Ken.
Thank you, Rico. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you do. Hey, brother, thank you so much, man. That was great.